I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. The mist has dispersed. The mist has dispersed. The mist has dispersed. The mist has dispersed. The mist has dispersed.
Each hero has a you can use hit when upgrading. Each hero has a you can use hit when upgrading to train a hero. Medals promote. Each hero has a you can use hit when upgrading to train a hero. Medals promote. Each hero has a you can use hit when upgrading to train a hero. Medals promote. Each hero has a you can use hit when upgrading. Talent trees every time. Medals promote. Talent trees every time. Talent trees every time. Talent trees every time. My lord, the Dark Allianceman. My lord, the Dark Allianceman. My lord, the Dark Allianceman. The upgrade to our The upgrade to our Construction. Construction. Construction.
For the holy light. For the holy light. For the holy light. For the holy light. What a brilliant idea.
One step at a time.
What a brilliant idea.
One step at a
Ini waktu
time.
dia mana muslim galati.
One step at
Ini
a
waktu
time.
dia mana muslim galati. Mana muslim galati. Ini mana muslim galati. Ini mana muslim galati. Ini mana muslim galati.
Let me survey our surroundings. Let me survey our surroundings. Let me survey our surroundings. Move on my command. Move on my command. Move on my command. Not that wise. I just know how to
Not
think.
that wise.
I just know how to
Not
think.
that wise.
I just know how to
Not
think.
that wise.
I just know how to think.
Guide me toward the light. Guide me toward the light. Guide me toward the light. Guide me toward the light.
How do I look? Prettier than before. How do I look? Prettier than before. How do I look? Prettier than before. How do I look? Prettier than before.
For the holy light! Guide me toward the light.
A city can't develop the college.
that wise. I just know how to think.
What a brilliant idea.
I'm not that wise. I just know how to think.
Scouting is an indispensable part of battle. By scout.
Come in. Good job, everyone. I'm ready. Surrender to the King's Mage. They'll write songs about that one. I'm not that wise. I just know how to think. Feel the power of ice.
brilliant idea.
This video is going to be jam-packed with tips and tricks to help you gather more resources than your enemies in Call of Dragons. Whether it's a tip like gather on territory for an extra 20% resource gathering speed, or you're looking for the best talent builds and how do some of those gathering talents work anyways, stick around in this video for everything you need to know to ascend to the top of the resource gathered list. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and I have been a top resource gatherer in pretty much every one of this style of game that I go and play. And I figure out all of the micro optimizations to get as much free-to-play value as I can so that I don't typically have to go and buy resources. Now on this whaled account, I did buy some resources. Literally, I max purchased the resource bundle, which, hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. T5 in less than a month was a bit of a rush, all right? But you can get crazy value by just gathering the resources yourself. And although I am only 10th on the list, I want to show you something very significant here, which is that although the #1 player on the list has a cool 66 million mana, hey, that ain't get crazy value. Gather. Stick around in this video for everything you need to know to play, and I figure out all of the micro optimizations to get as much free-to-play value as I can so that I don't typically have to go and buy resources. Now on this whaled account, I did buy some resources. Literally, I max purchased the resource bundle, which, hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. T5 in less than a month was a bit of a rush, all right? But you can get crazy value by just gathering the resources yourself. And although I am only 10th on the list, I want to show you something very significant here, which is that although the #1 player on the list has a cool 66 million mana, hey, that ain't bad. Your boy Chisgule over here has been gathering tons of mana, okay? Almost entirely freaking mana. I have 141 million mana, baby. Oh, and I also have 104 million ore, and you may think, why is that significant? Well, when you look at the resource nodes, For a level 5 resource node, you get 760,000 gold or wood. You get even less stone. And you get not even 300, it's 252,000 mana for the same level node. So basically this video, the first thing you gotta do if you're serious about gathering some stinking resources is use a resource gathering item. These are very simple. You can hit the get options, 8 hours or 20 minutes, giving every time you're gathering, of course. But you get a 25% territory allowance. You want to gather on territory. But 5 nodes at the start of the game anyways, they're so rare. Well, where should you be gathering? If you zoom all the way out and smash the resource button on the map, the dark green and light green are the areas that are the richest resource, right? This is where the level 6 nodes sometimes. Your city near 7 resource rich would drive by anybody. Okay, I'm not calling people out because nobody knows. It's the early game. It's not like we put out a bulletin telling people to teleport the heck out of the resource rich areas. But if your city is inside this resource rich area, you are literally blocking where more resource nodes would be spawning, I think, that are high level. But don't, because your city's there. And you can see this really clearly in areas where tons of cities have ported in, that just not nearly as many of these resource-rich nodes are porting in because there's too many cities blocking where those spawn-ins would be. I'm pretty sure it works that way. Could be wrong. Either way, doesn't hurt to be where I am, teleported in a super irrelevant zone where just level 1s and level 2s would have spawned. I'm not blocking anything important from happening. Okay, so that covers quick and upfront some tips and tricks that you really needed to know. But let's now talk about the heroes you use to gather resources, right? Because this obviously matters. There are 5 heroes of import. That includes Kella, Chakcha, Indus, also Pan. Now, technically, I said 5. The 5th is Ordo. Now, Ordo is a little unusual because he has gathering foundation talents right over here, Earth of the sort of 4 heroes that have the gathering talent tree, which you see listed right over gathering % for every gathering. That's actually insane. Here, we can finally talk about talents, baby. And the talents are why I'm recommending you take all of your gatherers to 3 stars quickly. Here's why. When we look at the talents, change from season to season. Gather 1,000 gems per week before you're hit with a critical debuff, making it so that your resource gathering, or really gem gathering specifically, is slowed dramatically to the point that it's just not worth it. So if you want to farm some amount of gems, you can hit the gem mines, but only for 1,000 gems per week, which ain't much. And, you know, the thing is, yeah, while you can farm gems, you're also limited on the amount of resources you can receive. This comes from your Alliance Market, which I can show you right over here. There's a weekly resource limit. When this building is maxed, that's 100 million resources, which might seem like a lot at the start of the game, but it ain't much by the time you get to Market 25. Now, the reason I mention this is that in other games like Rise of Kingdoms or other games I've played, you might have your gatherers on your main account gather the gems, and then your farm accounts feed resources to the main. But that is not a valid strategy in this game, because you can only get 100 million resources per week. So I do think that having a farm that sends you 100 million resources is certainly better than having no farm. But I also think that, you know, gem farming in this game just really doesn't make a ton of sense, nor does having lots of farms, because not only are you constrained on the amount of resources you can send, but also once you hit the limit on, you know, gem farming per week at 1,000, it's just so unbelievably constrained and so time consuming. It's just the wrong use of time for your marches. You may as well just gather mana or some other resource. Now, if you have any other tips or tricks, or there's anything else related to gathering you think I should have covered but didn't, definitely let me know down below in the comments. And if you got value from this video, do me the honor of throwing a like on the video and subscribing to the channel for more videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. We've got a massive fight coming. This is the most stacked server in Call of Dragons. It's not even close. This server is insane. There are 4 alliances that individually are so high power within the first 25 days of the server starting. that like they would normally be #1 by power in any other server, okay? I can show you that over here. So you want to subscribe so you don't miss out on the fights and all the other videos I'll make that help you get value and smash your enemies. And really, why are we gathering? To prepare for the damn fight, baby. That's what it's all about. So subscribe so you don't miss the epic battle that we have coming up very, very soon. And these alliance powers are really close. It's going to be such a big fight. And if you're looking for other videos that are going to help you just level up tremendously, I'll have a card in the end screen.
If you want to get all your heroes at level 60 as soon as possible in Call of Dragons, there are a few tips and tricks to follow in order to maximize your potential. Hi everyone, I'm Zoras No Casuals, and today we're going to talk about heroes and leveling. In Call of Dragons, there is no way to purchase hero experience. There is no pack that gives you these little books. These you can only get by playing the game, by being active. It is going to make a huge difference because at level 59, you will unlock the ability to have a point at the last talent here and a point in the middle tier talent here. So it is going to be incredibly important and strong to focus on getting your heroes up there because it is going to make a big difference in your performance in both PvP and PvE. So of course, the main way of getting a lot of XP in this game will be Darkling Patrols. Now, if you use the map here, you will see there's Patrols, Dark Creatures, Darkling Guards. Now, Dark Creatures are kind of like bigger creatures. They give XP, but as opposed to the same level Patrol, which has the same CP cost, Darkling Patrols are just way better. There is just so much XP to be made here. So it is going to be important to maximize the way you farm Darklings. Now, the first way for me to showcase this is going to be by chaining Darkling Patrols. So there are a few things that you have to do in order to get the maximum amount of result out of this. So in order to chain successfully, you must use strong marches with as many troops as possible. So first, I would recommend that you do not use any of these little CP book until quite later into the game. When you are strong, when you have full marches of units, they do reset at the season end, but you don't really need to be spending them until you have access to Darklings that are higher than level 20 and that you can fill quite a few marches. The reason I'm saying that is that when you attack a Darkling Patrol, like you can see here, the cost is usually 50. Now, because I've already killed one Darkling Patrol, it is 48. This goes down 5 times basically, meaning that it can cost 40 CP per attack. So if I have multiple march, for example, you know, it is 148 because these haven't killed anything, but this one has. Eventually, you can make it so that your 5 marches can attack for 40 CP each, meaning that 5 marches killing one Darkling Patrol will cost 200 CP total instead of 250. It is a pretty significant boost. It's 20% save CP. But in order to be able to do this and chain, you know, one march after the other and after the other and after the other, you will need your marches to survive because the Darkling Patrols are quite strong, especially the higher level ones. So you will want to have, you know, marches that are going to be surviving, because if you kill 4 or 5 of these marches, you get to the 40 cost, and then your march is in the red or in the yellow and it's half dead. Well, you won't be able to go much longer, right? So this is why you have to focus on, you know, when you're very strong is when you're going to be spending a lot of your CP and your CP items in order to maximize this, because it will really add up and stack up in the long run. Now, also, when you are going to be doing this, I would recommend that you
Most players think they know how to build Wother, but almost nobody is using his in open field without spending more money. You're at the right place. This video is made it just for you. And to be fair, I use Wother for the past like 2 years. No joke, able to, you know, giving more power to your hero, to the spells of the hero, let's say it like this. So here
What is going on, warriors and farmers of Tamaris? I am back again with the updated ultimate guide for Mr. Walter in the Call of Dragons. The game has been out for quite some time, and today we're gonna find out if Mr. Walter is worthy of a spot in your 5-match roster for the open field. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. Turn to the targets and 3 nearby legions. Inflicts gloom and deals 15% more hero skill damage. It doesn't get better than this, guys. Thanks for Mr. Walter. You got this boiling blood, which gives you 8% more game. What are some of the best pairings for Mr. Walter in the Call of Dragons? The first one, Deputy. Walter is gonna put and break this from the talent tree. You got this boiling blood, which gives you 8% more damage for the deputy hero when they cast a rage skill. So this is the best pairing for Walter.
Nothing is forbidden.
brilliant idea.